Huh, cool. I've literally become every single anti-SJW channel on the face of the planet by naming myself after a historical figure, then including a picture of said figure with MLG sunglasses on. I know it's a cliche, but I guess it'll work for this format. Anyways, on with the video.
There are many channels, sites, and personalities online that rustle the internet's jimmies, whether that may be BuzzFeed, the Huffington Post, MTV News, or the Young Turks. This is a series that looks into the nitty-gritty of these organizations, and hopefully with this, we can better understand how these useful idiots work. Today's video is about the internet's favorite genocide deniers. And no, I'm not talking about Stormfront or 4chan's/Bboard. I'm talking, of course, about the Young Turks. The phrase "Young Turk," when referred to generally, is defined by Merriam-Webster as an insurgent or a member of an insurgent group, especially in a political party. The phrase originated with the radical political group of the same name, which coincidentally committed one of the least talked about and worst genocides in world history, the Armenian Genocide, which claimed over 1.5 million lives, a big portion of which were the Armenian minority in the Ottoman Empire, which is in modern-day Turkey.
This is especially ironic when you consider the fact that on his program, Cenk has been very vocal about his feelings on the Armenian Genocide.
Which, to say the least, isn't very, since he denies it.
And it's doubly ironic since Anna Kasparian, the co-host of the Young Turks, is of Armenian descent. How about that, eh?
And don't forget that he named his program after the people who actually committed the genocide.
Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Back to the show.
Flash forward 87 years, and we meet a Turkish-American journalist by the name of Cenk Uygur. He formed a satellite radio program called The Young Turks back in 2002. Throughout the 2000s, they slowly shifted to the internet as time went on, and to this day you can find them on YouTube, where they amass a pretty impressive amount of subscribers for an online talk show. Still way less subs than PewDiePie, but I rest my case. Their political stance is vehemently left-leaning and progressive, so you'd expect they'd argue for the liberal principles of democracy and free speech, wouldn't you? In their infancy and adolescence, yes. But as time went on, they started to devolve into this contrived mess of regressive left politics. Sure, they've always been liberals, but never to the extent where they began to get a little defensive and extreme about their points, as seen in this interaction between Cenk and well-known conspirator Alex Jones.
Hold on! We're against Saudi Arabia, you dumbass! We talk about that all the time! We talk about that all the time! You don't know shit! What do you think, the lizard people are in charge? No! Is that what you think?
Hey, you're pissed because we're kicking your ass!
Is that what you think?
You're the anti-liberal and you're pissed!
Bullshit!
We're being nasty!
Very mature way to handle encountering people who disagree with you, am I right? Now,
If you geniuses hadn't figured out, judging from either my accent or anything else I've said, I'm Canadian. More specifically, I'm from Vancouver in BC, which is basically the California of Canada. And as such, I live in an area where regressive leftist politics are rampant, whether that's the Liberal Party's monopoly on BC politics or the political mindset of the residents of my area. This is especially prevalent when you consider that when our cuck-in-chief, Justin Trudeau, was elected into office by a landslide, mostly from disenfranchised millennials who didn't want another 4 years of Stephen Harper fucking up the place, nobody I knew really was aware of what he was going to bring to the table, except making the female population of my high school wet because of his pretty boy, queer eye for the straight guy looks. And so far, he's done some shit, including bringing in thousands of migrants into Canuck soil, resulting in more hijab and niqab sightings, especially downtown and near the major universities, the University of British Columbia and Simon Fraser University. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but, you know, yeah. Just as a quick side note, I think the burkini ban in France is a terrible idea, and not for the reasons that the regressive left and the mainstream media want you to think. It's because if you're trying to reduce Islam's influence in Europe, I don't think banning a sort of religious headscarf is the best idea. Say, for example, a Muslim country such as Saudi Arabia or Iraq is trying to reduce Christianity's influence in their society. Would they ban priests wearing vestments or like the cross in your neck? No. I think they'd do something a little more drastic. Anyways, back to the young genocide deniers. Basically, what I'm trying to get at with this is you gotta look at both sides of the argument in order to make an opinion. Even if you disagree with them, I think it's still a pretty good idea to listen to the perspectives of other people to try to understand where they're coming from and see where you stand on it so that you can consider that maybe, just maybe, you were wrong the whole time. Stay tuned because BuzzFeed is coming up next.
Pull up, track, headshot, track, sit down, track, stand up, track, pass out, track, wake up, track, fade it, track, fade it, track.